to calibrate. Hold down menu button. Go into calibration. First, you're going to get a machine. You can select a number, hit the enter button. That'll give you a flashing cursor so you can go down or up on the number. Okay. We're just going to leave it there, then go down arrow, and you can name the model, name the machine. This one's called model because we're on the model machine. You always type in, there's your space, there's your left and right arrows, just hit enter each time and it puts so many characters across. When you're done with that, hit the home key, takes you back, right arrow. Right arrow takes you to digging system, that's what you're going to work on here. 2 booms, standard hoe. Side, that's for the sensor. What side is the sensor facing? Is it facing out to the left or is it facing out to the right? This one's facing out to the left, so facing cab side. Left is sitting inside the cab looking at the screen, left side. Okay, next thing you're going to do is enter the length. We've got the mode set in inches. You can set it in meters, you can set it in feet, inches, like tenths, or you can set it in feet and regular inches. So we put in here, this is for the mile, it's really small. 1 foot, 5 inches, and then this is how much of an inch. It's into hundredths, so pretend it's a percent. So if it was a ½ inch, that would be 50%. So you can get as close as you want. This is 0.0%, pretty small. Then the next thing you're going to do is input your angle. Now, normally you've got the cheat sheet that you've printed out, you've done all your measurements, your links, so we go through the whole thing and put in all the links is what I do. And then I save, and you'll see where you save at the end of this. And then I go back and do the angles. That works better for me, it's simpler. But you can do it this way too, it's the same thing. Put in your length and do your angle each time. So angle, 0, 0. You're going to level the main boom pins, the 2 main boom pins. Use a laser, use a string line, level will work, anything will work. 0 is the angle, so we're going to be dead level. We're just aligning the angle sensor with the boom. It's pretty simple. So to do this, we just hit enter and it'll give a flashing cursor. I don't want to mess up my load right now. That flashing cursor will flash. Once you get your boom level, then you just hit enter again and it'll go beep and you'll get an OK. If you don't get the beep OK, hit enter, turn the cursor back on, hit it again. Make sure you get that says OK, that it accepted it. Same for boom 2. Boom 2 is your dipper stick. Sensor left side, put in your length, and then your angle. -90 is what you want for that 99% of the time. Just put -90. To do that, then you can put your dipper stick, the top pin and the very bottom pin in the stick, perfectly plumb bob to each other. Once you get them plumb bob to each other, hit the enter button again. It'll beep OK down here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to is buckets. Works the same way as the machine. You get up to 9 or 10 buckets per machine, 9 buckets per machine, I believe. So this is bucket 1 for this machine, and we named it model. You saw how we went and named the stuff. You hit enter, change whatever number for each one of your buckets. Once you figure that out, you click over, and we're going to have dog bone if we mount the sensor on the dog bone, and you can only mount the sensor on the left side for dog bone. Only on the left side. Again, I say that sensor has to face to the left, or cab side on American excavators. So this one we just had the bucket, but we're going to go through the dog bone because the bucket's the same thing. After you put the dog bone, then you guys still put the bucket in. So we're going to go through this as it's a dog bone, but you'll go to bucket if you don't have it and go through that way. That you'll just skip ahead in this video. At any time, pause this video or back up to look at stuff to help you out. I know I'm going kind of fast. So we right click. These are your segments. This stands for segment 1 length, segment 2, segment 3 length, segment 4 length. These are your dog bone lengths. You'll see a picture here in a second. Good to pause this video right here so you can absorb angle 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the dog bones. Take a look there. This is angle of segment 1. We're going to have it 0, 0. And angle of segment 2, we're going to put at -90. Okay? So enter in your segments, all three of them, and just to go over it, segment 1 is always from the piston or the cylinder pin to the dipper stick pin. That's the top pin. You got 2 pins down at the, when I say top pin, you got 2 pins down at the bottom for your bucket and your dog bone, the top pin. Segment 2 is from the top of the dipper stick pin at the bottom too. There's 3 pins on a dipper stick. Please understand, we're talking about the bottom pins. You'll see it in the picture. Get the link to that. Third one and fourth one is always from the back of the bucket to the cylinder again. Pretty simple. Then you come down here, you straighten the number 1 segment, you make it 0, 0, which is level. So you turn that dog bone back and forth till you get it level, and then you flash it in by hitting, you get the cursor flashing here, then you hit enter, and it flashes it in. Then I'll do this one here. You want negative 90, so click your cursor over 3, go down till you get 90, and then you're ready. Then stand your boom up so the bottom 2 pins on your dipper stick are perfectly straight up and down. Once they are, and you'll watch me hit enter now, and you're going to see the OK and what it sounds like. You always hear that every time you put an angle in. Do not forget that. Sometimes this is live all the time. It's reading sensors. Sometimes it might skip you and you might have to do it again. To do it again, you hit enter, you get the cursor back, and so you're going to hear that on every one of the ones you do. Okay, so the next thing we go to, and I'm going to back out of here. You just go right arrow for the next, which will take you to bucket angles. So now if you don't have dog bone, you have bucket, or you've already gone through the dog bone cycle, you'll be into where we're going right now. So let's just say now we don't have a dog bone, we're going to bucket. So we just hit enter on that. Do you have a tilt bucket? Tilt means you swing left or right. Probably not. If you do, hit tilt bucket. So we just go right through that. Now, sensors mount on the left or right side. When it's on a bucket, normally you have a quick coupler, so you're mounting on the quick coupler. Which way is the sensor facing? Obviously, so you come down here, then you got length, and that's from the pin that rotates for your bucket. Rotate your bucket, the main pin on the dipper stick, to the bottom of the teeth or the cutting edge on the bucket. So that's your length. Then you're going to flash in your angle, which is negative 90. So to do negative 90, you turn on your cursor, you're ready, hold the bucket, so you can drop a rock or plumb bob from the center of that rotating pin to the very edge of the teeth. You want it perpendicular to the gravity's earth, straight up and down. Then the last thing you got is your width of your bucket. So it says length here, but that's the width of the bucket. So if it's 3 foot bucket, but 3 foot. Pretty simple. Or you can measure it for super accuracy. Okay, next thing is chassis sensors. And on this it's changed quite a bit. It's got a little bit easier. You've got your inputs on that as a sensor left, right, or no sensor. Whatever way you faced it. If it's facing opposite side of the cab, like we said. Okay. So, horizontal, vertical, put in you've got a description on there for horizontal, which is from the center of the pin back to the center turntable. Normally it's a small number, but the center of your big boom pin to the turntable. You see a picture over here. Then you got your vertical distance, which is from the center of the big boom pin down to the bottom of the chassis that rotates. So it's the bottom of your cab, you know, where you reach your hand under the cab, approximate distance to there. Okay, then it says to take angles. We're going to go on though. We're going to finish up here with one more input before we take the angles. And that's side distance. Side distance is if you're facing your boom, if you're standing under the boom, bucket behind your back, facing the machine, that boom will be left or right of the center of the cab. It'll be left or right of center of the cab. This is how far left or right it is, okay? So then this is very easy now. It's one of the easiest sensors take. Be on close to level ground. It really doesn't matter, but I think closer the better. Take 0 and then take 180. These are the two inputs you're going to take to align your chassis sensors. So turn your machine parallel with your tracks one way or the other. Get it nice and straight as you can, and hit this button, hit enter. And then same thing goes, go down to here, rotate 180 degrees so you're in line with the tracks again with the side of your cab. 180 degrees, make sure you're not vibrating any. Stop and hit enter again. That'll align your chassis. Okay. Last thing we gotta do is put in our laser receiver inputs. Laser receiver is on the left or right side of the boom. Or you boom 1, that's your main boom, or you boom 2. Minis, we normally put small S squares, put it up on boom 1 towards the pin for the dipper stick. It's up out of the way. On any other machine, you're going to want to have it on the second boom. So boom 2, which is your crowd, your dipper stick down. So you'll put boom 2 normally. Horizontal measurement, you see that on the picture. That's from the pin between boom 1 and 2, or the dipper stick and 1, down to your device. And then vertical is from the string line of the 2 pins on the stick, whatever stick it is, back up. Perpendicular, you'll see the picture of it. And the width of the boom, wherever it's mounted, you need to know how wide the boom is there so it can tell that difference when it figures out your machine. So we're done. You go down to save, hit save. It'll go count to 100. You'll be done, pop out, and see how she works.